Disclaimer: this content is only for a mature audience. Viewer discretion is advised. I never imagined that a single sentence could shatter my entire world. But last night, as we sat at our dinner table, my husband, Daniel, looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Emma, there's something I need to tell you. I have another wife." For a moment, I couldn't even process what I had just heard. My heart stopped. The room felt colder. I wanted to believe it was some kind of sick joke, but his face told me otherwise. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't even apologizing. He was just waiting for my reaction. 6 years, 6 years of marriage, love, and trust. Was it all a lie? My hands trembled as I put my fork down, my appetite completely gone. Another wife? In a different city? My mind raced with 100 questions, but the only words that came out of my mouth were, "You're not serious, right?" But he was. He admitted everything in a calm, almost practiced tone. He told me her name, her city, how long they had been together, and the worst part? He acted as if he was telling me the weather forecast, like this was something I was just supposed to accept. I felt like the ground beneath me had disappeared. How could I have been so blind? Had there been signs I missed? Late night business trips, unexplained phone calls, the way he sometimes seemed distant. Was it all leading to this moment? I wanted to scream, cry, throw something, but all I could do was sit there, staring at the man I thought I knew, realizing I had no idea who he really was. And then came the part that shook me even more. He didn't tell me because he felt guilty. He didn't tell me because he wanted to fix things. No, he told me because he wanted me to accept it, to somehow be okay with this double life he had been living. Could you forgive someone for something like this? Could you ever trust them again? Or is this the kind of betrayal that you can never come back from? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If this happened to you, what would you do? Would you walk away? Or would you fight for the truth? Stay tuned because this story is just getting started. I sat there in complete silence, my mind refusing to accept the words that had just left Daniel's mouth. He had another wife, another life, another woman who believed, just like I did, that she was his only one. My chest felt tight, and for a moment, I wasn't even sure if I was breathing. Was this even real? Or was I stuck in some twisted nightmare? Daniel shifted in his chair, his eyes searching my face for a reaction. Did he expect me to just nod and go along with this? I could feel my pulse pounding in my ears, my hands gripping the edge of the table so tightly that my knuckles turned white. I wanted to scream at him, to demand answers, but all I could manage was a whisper. "How long?" My own voice sounded unfamiliar, weak. He let out a sigh, rubbing the back of his neck like this was some casual inconvenience. "A few years? A few years?" My stomach twisted. We had been married for 6. That meant, oh God, he had been lying to me for more than half our marriage. Every business trip, every late night call, every time he looked me in the eyes and said he loved me, it had all been fake. "Who is she?" I forced the words out, even though I wasn't sure if I wanted the answer. "Her name is Olivia," he said, his voice flat. "She lives in Chicago." Chicago. He had been traveling there at least once a month for years. I had never questioned it. I had trusted him. My heart pounded harder as memories started to piece themselves together, moments I had ignored or brushed off suddenly making sense. Does she know about me? My voice wavered. Maybe, just maybe, this was some bizarre misunderstanding. Maybe she knew, and they had an arrangement. Maybe I had been the one living a lie. Daniel hesitated, and that was all the answer I needed. I felt my stomach drop. She didn't know. Just like me, she had been fed the same lies, the same empty promises, I wasn't just betrayed, I was one of his betrayals. I pushed back my chair and stood up, my legs unsteady beneath me. You've been living two lives, I said, my voice shaking. How do you even do that? How do you lie like this every single day? Daniel exhaled, looking away. It's complicated. Complicated? That's what he had to say? I clenched my fists, my nails digging into my palms. No, Daniel, it's not complicated. It's cruel. The room was silent, but inside me, a storm was raging, and I wasn't sure if I would ever be the same again. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat, my body frozen between shock and rage. Daniel sat across from me, his expression unreadable, as if this was just another conversation, nothing more than a small confession. But it wasn't. It was my entire life falling apart in real time. Why are you telling me this now? My voice was quieter than I expected. I wanted to scream, to throw something, but all I could do was ask the one question that didn't make sense. Daniel sighed, running a hand through his hair, like this was exhausting for him. I didn't want you to find out another way. Another way? My stomach twisted. That meant there was another way. Something had changed. Was Olivia getting suspicious? Did she already know? Was this his way of controlling the situation before it spiraled out of his hands? Is she pregnant? The words left my mouth before I could stop them. Daniel's eyes widened slightly, but then he quickly masked it. That second of hesitation told me everything. I felt sick. Olivia was pregnant, and suddenly I wasn't just the wife he had lied to. I was the other woman, the one being replaced. I turned away, gripping the edge of the kitchen counter just to keep myself standing. My mind was spinning, every memory of our marriage replaying in my head, but now they felt different. Hollow, fake. Emma, Daniel said carefully, standing up. I didn't want to hear his voice. I didn't want to look at him, but I needed answers. How long were you going to keep this up? I turned to face him, my eyes burning. Were you ever planning to tell me? Or were you just waiting for me to figure it out on my own? He didn't answer right away, and that silence was louder than anything he could have said. My hands were shaking, but I refused to break in front of him. What happens now? I forced out, my throat dry. Daniel exhaled slowly. I was hoping we could work something out. A laugh bubbled up inside me, sharp and bitter. Work something out? I repeated. You want me to accept this? To be okay with being, what? The first wife? The second choice? He didn't deny it, and in that moment I realized I had been living in an illusion, a marriage built on nothing but lies. What would you do if you were in my place? Would you walk away, or would you fight to uncover the full truth? Let me know in the comments. I stared at Daniel, waiting for him to say something, anything, that would make this make sense. But he just stood there, his silence confirming what I already knew. He wasn't sorry. He wasn't even trying to fix this. He had made his decision long before this moment, and now he expected me to just accept it. You actually thought I'd agree to this? My voice was sharp, my emotions threatening to spill over. That I'd just share you? Daniel exhaled, rubbing his face. It's not that simple, Emma. I let out a bitter laugh. No, Daniel, it's actually very simple. You lied to me for years, and now you want me to be okay with it? His jaw tightened, and for the first time, I saw frustration in his eyes. I didn't plan for it to happen this way. Oh, so this was an accident? I shot back. You accidentally got married to another woman? You accidentally got her pregnant? He flinched. And there it was, the confirmation. Olivia was pregnant. A lump formed in my throat, but I refused to let it show. I refused to let him see how much this was breaking me. Does she know? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Daniel hesitated again, and that told me everything. Olivia didn't know about me. She didn't know she wasn't the only wife. She was living the same lie I had been living. My heart pounded. I should have been furious at her, but all I felt was a deep, sinking sadness. Because if she was anything like me, she loved Daniel with her whole heart. She trusted him. She had no idea that the life she was building was just another piece of his deception. I need to talk to her. The words left my mouth before I could stop them. Daniel's head snapped up. No. Why not? I challenged. What are you afraid of? That she'll leave you too? He took a step toward me, his expression darkening. Emma, don't do this. But it was too late, because now this wasn't just about me anymore. It was about the truth. And if Daniel wouldn't tell her, then I would. What do you think Olivia will do when she finds out? Would you tell her if you were in my place? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Daniel's eyes locked onto mine, his expression shifting from frustration to something else, panic. It was the first time I'd seen him truly unsettled. That only fueled my determination. He wasn't scared of losing me. He was scared of the truth coming out. I mean it, Daniel, I said, my voice steady. If you won't tell her, I will. He took a step closer, lowering his voice as if someone else might hear. Emma, you don't understand. Then make me understand. I crossed my arms, refusing to back down. Tell me why I shouldn't pick up the phone and call her right now. He clenched his jaw, running a hand through his hair. He looked like he was debating something, fighting an internal battle. Then, after a long pause, he exhaled. Because she already knows. The room spun. What? My voice barely came out. Olivia knows about you. He glanced away, his fingers drumming against the counter. She's known for months. I felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. You're lying. I'm not. His voice was flat, matter of fact. She found out on her own, just like you almost did. But she didn't leave. She agreed to stay. I shook my head. This didn't make sense. She agreed. She understands. He sounded almost relieved, as if this was supposed to make me feel better. It's different with her. Stop. My stomach churned. So you're saying she was okay with this? With being part of some twisted secret life? Daniel hesitated. She wanted to tell you, but I told her I would handle it. Rage boiled inside me. Olivia knew, for months, and she said nothing. She stayed with him. While I was living in oblivion, thinking I had a faithful husband, she was playing along. Why would she stay? The question slipped out before I could stop it. Daniel hesitated again, and then, quietly, he said, Because she's in love with me. The words hit harder than I expected. I should have known that. Of course she loved him. But hearing him say it like that, like it was a justification, made something in me snap. And I wasn't? My voice cracked. He sighed. That's not what I mean. Olivia, she's different. She understands that things aren't black and white, that love isn't always simple. I stared at him, my skin burning. He was trying to make me feel like I was the one who didn't get it, like I was the one being unreasonable. So what now? I asked, my voice cold. You expect me to just accept this too? To be like her? Daniel looked at me, and for a moment I thought he was going to say yes, but instead he said something worse. I was hoping you wouldn't have to know at all. Everything in me froze. You were never going to tell me, I whispered. He didn't deny it. I felt sick. He had only told me because he was afraid I'd find out from someone else, not because he felt guilty, not because he loved me, but because he wanted control over how the truth came out. The betrayal ran deeper than I had even realized. "You don't get to decide what I know," I said through gritted teeth. "You lost that right the moment you made me a part of this mess without my consent." Daniel's face hardened. "Emma, please." "No." My voice was firm. "I'm done listening to you." I grabbed my phone, my hands shaking. If Olivia really knew everything, I needed to hear it from her, not from Daniel, not from his twisted version of the truth. I pulled up her number, my heart pounding. Before I could second guess myself, I hit call. Daniel's face went pale. "Emma, don't." But it was too late. The call was already ringing. What do you think Olivia will say when she picks up? Will she tell the truth, or will she protect Daniel? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The phone rang once, twice. My pulse pounded in my ears as I watched Daniel's face, his expression a mix of panic and something else, something darker. He didn't want me talking to Olivia, and that only made me want to hear her voice more. On the third ring, she picked up. "Hello." Her voice was soft, hesitant, like she already knew why I was calling. I swallowed the lump in my throat, gripping the phone tighter. "Olivia, it's Emma." My voice wavered, but I forced myself to stay strong. "We need to talk." There was silence on the other end, then a quiet exhale. "I know." I froze. "You know?" "Yes," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I knew you'd find out eventually." A cold chill ran through me. Daniel had said she knew about me for months. But this felt different, like she had been waiting for this moment. "Why didn't you tell me?" My voice cracked, anger bubbling up. She hesitated. "Because I didn't think you'd believe me." My breath caught. "Believe you about what?" Daniel stepped closer, shaking his head. "Emma, hang up the phone." I ignored him, my grip tightening. "Olivia, tell me." Another pause. Then she finally said the words that made my world tilt. "Because I'm not his only other wife." My stomach dropped. "What?" I whispered, the room spinning. "There's another," Olivia admitted. "And maybe more." Daniel's face turned pale. I took a step back, my body trembling. "You're lying." "I wish I was." Her voice was hollow. "I thought I was the only one, too, until I wasn't." The floor beneath me felt unsteady. My hands were ice cold, my chest tight. If Olivia had found out, if she had thought she was special, only to learn the truth, then how many others were there? 2, 3, more? I turned to Daniel, my vision blurred with fury. "How many?" My voice was sharp, unrelenting. He didn't answer, and that silence told me everything. I had spent 6 years loving a man I didn't even know. I stepped away from him, my heart pounding so loudly I could barely hear my own thoughts. "I'm done." Daniel reached for me, but I pulled away. I wasn't his to manipulate anymore. And for the first time, I wasn't afraid of the truth. What would you do if you found out the person you loved had more secrets than you ever imagined? Let me know in the comments. Daniel stood there, frozen, as if his silence could somehow undo everything that had just happened. But it was too late. The truth was out, and I wasn't going to be part of his web of lies any longer. The weight on my chest lifted, not because the pain was gone, but because I finally saw things for what they really were. "I don't know how many more are out there, Emma," Olivia said through the phone, her voice filled with exhaustion. "But I know one thing, we deserve better." She was right. I had spent too many years thinking I was part of something real, something unbreakable. But love built on lies was never real to begin with. I had trusted Daniel with my heart, my future, and every moment of my life. And all this time, I had only been one chapter in his story, a story filled with other women, other lies, and other broken promises. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. I'm leaving. Daniel's face changed, his mask slipping for the first time. Emma, please. No, I cut him off, my voice firm. You don't get to ask me for anything anymore. His betrayal had already taken so much from me, my trust, my love, my years, but it wasn't going to take my future. I hung up the phone with Olivia, feeling a strange sense of relief. She wasn't my enemy. She was just another woman who had been lied to, just like me. Maybe one day we'd both look back on this and see it as the moment we got our lives back. Daniel tried to speak again, but I didn't let him. I grabbed my keys, walked to the door, and didn't look back. As I stepped outside, the cool night air hit my face, and for the first time in years, I felt free. Free from the lies, free from the fake love, free to start over. Maybe it wouldn't be easy. Maybe the heartbreak would take time to heal. But at least now, I was walking toward the truth, toward a life that I controlled. And that was worth everything. What would you have done in my place? Do you think Daniel will ever change, or is someone like him destined to repeat the same mistakes? Let me know in the comments, and if you want a sequel, tell me what you'd like to see next.